Guy is a geospatial expert with EDINA at the University of Edinburgh. He's a member of the team delivering EDINA's flagship Digimap service and is responsible for developing innovative geospatial solutions covering diverse areas such as green infrastructure, mapping, indoor building navigation, and 3D building modelling. Guy's an expert with the full Esri stack. Now, today, Guy is going to be telling us about the new app EDINA has developed to help students find study space within the campus, which employs a range of innovative new technologies to do so. So over to you, Guy.
Okay, yeah, so thanks. So today I'm going to talk about a new app that we have developed that shows the potential of integrating disparate data sources to provide essential information for users to make decisions, and an app that has revolutionized the management and use of study spaces at the university. However, this app could be relevant to many organizations that need to manage access to resources at multiple sites. So far, the app has been downloaded by over 5,000 users and managed 50,000 bookings in the last month. So the project actually began at the end of last year in response to complaints the university was receiving from students that it was sometimes very difficult to find study space in the libraries, especially around exam times and at particular times of the day. So a project was started to look at ways of improving the student experience, and the idea of an app to help students find available study spaces was developed. So what were the key requirements identified? Firstly, to identify available study spaces. The key aspect here is available. Although it was recognised that the main library was generally very busy, we were also aware that there were places within the library that were quieter, and also that there were several alternative libraries and study centres nearby that were underutilised and that students could make more use of if they knew where they were and that they were available. Secondly, we had to ensure we had up-to-date and timely information about occupancy of study spaces. It would be no use having information that was days or even just hours old, although having historic information could be useful to predict future usage patterns. Thirdly, we needed to be able to rapidly respond to changes in building information, such as opening times, capacities, and additional study spaces. This has turned out to be even more important given today's challenges, where the estate is rapidly changing and huge effort is being invested in opening up existing and additional study spaces, meeting current regulations. Finally, we needed to be able to show where all the study spaces are and to help users navigate to them. So what was our solution? So the solution was the Finding Study Space app. And we developed the app for students that shows them where all the study spaces are across the campus. Edinburgh is a very spread out university campus with various sites, hundreds of buildings and many libraries, not all of which are very easy to find or well known. We needed the app to integrate with various feeds of live data to provide the up-to-date view of both occupancy and other information. We worked with the University IoT team to integrate information they were gathering from Wi-Fi routers in buildings that provides an approximate measure of the occupancy of an area based on Wi-Fi connections to each router that is updated every 5 minutes. This required no additional hardware to be installed and met security and privacy concerns. We also needed to integrate data from another service that monitors the use and availability of open access PCs and get data from other open data feeds such as the Just Eat bike rental scheme and Lothian buses information. We gathered information about what facilities were available in each study space, such as cafes, accessible desks, noisy or quiet areas, and desk facilities such as power and USB. We also needed to be able to update all the information rapidly and frequently. And as mentioned previously, one of the requirements was to help students navigate and get from their location to an available study space, so we had to provide navigation facilities. So what does the app look like? The home page of the app immediately shows the user what libraries are available and how busy each is based on a color-coded scale derived from the Wi-Fi data. It also shows other information, such as if a library is closed or if information is unavailable. Overall study space capacity of the libraries is also shown. Once the user has decided what library they are interested in going to, they can explore further. So for instance, if they select the law library, they can see all the study areas within the law library and again see how busy each area is. We also have access to additional information, such as the opening times and accessibility information from the university website and floor plans. Once they've decided what study area they're interested in going to, they can find out more information, such as what facilities it has and exactly how many study spaces or PCs are available in that area. However, one of the key points of the app is that it is spatially enabled. So we can easily go to the Map tab and see where these libraries actually are. This is particularly important for new students who are finding their way around campus, and also to help us show where new or additional study centres are located that may not be familiar to existing students. The user can also use the map to select a library and then find out how busy it is from the occupancy data. The map also enables users to get directions, including walking directions, from any location to a library. And it also shows other transport infrastructure, such as bike routes and bus routes, and real-time information about bike rental availability and bus times. So where's the data that we're using? So all the data is stored in the Esri geospatial cloud. We use a customized vector tile version of OpenStreetMap as the base map and overlay our campus map together with hosted feature services to store dynamic data. So just to show you some of the data we have, this is our campus map with some of our study space information added to it. So we're showing here the libraries are the purple symbols, the study spaces are the blue, bike rental points are in red, and the red buildings are university buildings. The blue are, the light blue is university accommodation, and dark blue are the libraries. If I zoom out just to sort of show you the scale of the campus, you can see we go from the centre of Edinburgh, and then we've got libraries up here as the Western General Hospital, we've got King's Buildings, we've got the Edinburgh Royal Infirmary down here, and if we go really far out, down to the south, we've got the Roslin Institute and Easterbush, the vet school. So if I zoom back in here to George Square and select one of these libraries, we can see some of the information that we're using in our app. And if I just go and scroll through some of these features, you can start to see some of the information that we have there. So for instance, on this ground floor, we've got the capacity and we've got the percentage full. So it's saying it's 50% and its state is closed. And we've got other information about other features such as the library, more details about the library, and we can look at other information that it's got as well. So just to recap, also we can look at our bike symbol here, and we can see we've got real-time bike information, so showing that at this point there are 2 bikes available, 13 bikes, spaces for 13 bikes. So just to emphasize that all the information shown in the app is driven from data stored in the map. This means that if we update the information shown on the map, e.g. add a new library or update occupancy information, then the app will automatically update as well. We are using secure web services calls to the map to receive information that is used to configure the app interface. So how do we update this data? As I mentioned, one of the most important aspects of the system is to ensure that we have up-to-date live data. So how do we manage that? Updates to live data on the map are done through ArcGIS GeoEvent Server, which we set up to process the range of feeds of data we are getting. GeoEvent Server is used to update information about space occupancy, PC availability, bike availability, and bus times. We simplified processing in GeoEvent Server by developing a pre-process to format the incoming data into consistent JSON feeds that are used to update hosted feature services in ArcGIS Online. And with GeoEvent Server, we can process the data as it comes in at different time intervals, formats, and volumes in a consistent manner. So that's a bit about the data, but how did we go about the app development itself? So at the outset, the requirement was to produce a native mobile app, as that was perceived as what students wanted for this type of application. This was quite a departure and learning experience for us, as we're more used to web development. However, we chose Esri AppStudio to create and build a native Android and iOS app, as it provided a lot of the functionality we were looking for out of the box. We started with templates and samples, but ended up developing a fully customized solution based on user requirements we had obtained by doing focus groups and interviews, and working with our software engineers and graphic designer. However, requirements change, and all changed just as we were about to release the Finding Study Space app, as it became clear that there was an urgent requirement for a study space booking app to manage the reopening of university study spaces. The quantity of study spaces across the university has been greatly reduced by approximately 25% of previous levels because of the current physical distancing requirements. However, at the same time, many additional study centres are being set up. A booking system app was seen as essential to the reopening of the libraries so that a fair allocation of available study spaces could be made and traffic could be controlled within buildings so as to provide a safe studying and working environment for those returning to campus. So what was our response to this? So we responded by developing the seated booking app using the same technology as the Finding Study Space app, but without the mapping functionality. Seated allows users to book a desk in a study centre anywhere on campus. There's a mobile app and also a responsive web form available. We developed the mobile app that includes a QR code reader to read QR codes on each desk and authentication by the university's single sign-on system. The app links to an in-house back-end booking system developed by the IoT team. Currently, the system manages over 1,500 spaces in 15 study centres across the university campus, with more being added weekly. There were over 50,000 bookings and 5,000 downloads of the app from the app stores in the last month. So the app allows users to make bookings anytime up to 7 days in advance at any site, and to then check in and check out of that booking and manage future bookings. They can choose a date, time, duration, building, or a specific desk by name, and what facilities a desk has, e.g. is it in a noisy area or a silent area, and also does it have power or USB or other facilities. So what's next? So after the rapid development of the seated app, we are now looking at integrating the Finding Study Space mapping functionality into it to create a comprehensive geospatially enabled study space finding and booking service. This will include functionality to show occupancy, although that may be derived from the booking system in future. It will also have functionality to show where all the study centres are on campus, and we intend to include desk level indoor mapping to help users find where the specific book desk is. So although we have developed this app for the university, fundamentally it is about using disparate data sources to support users making spatial decisions. That is, where to go. There are many other similar use cases where this sort of application could be utilised, and we'd be very keen to hear from anyone who would like to understand more about the app. Thanks for your attention, and we look forward to hearing from you. Please contact us at this email address.
Thank you, Guy. That was excellent. I mean, really quite exciting. Not only have you got something which is groundbreaking, it's your plan to take it further forward, and it sounds like a lot of potential. I mean, just 50,000 bookings in a month, 5,000 downloads. I think it
Yeah.
sounds that people are accepting it as the app to use for this purpose. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I mean between the app and also the web form, it's really it's an essential part now of a student's ability to book study spaces. They really have to use one or the other to book the study spaces to get into the libraries. But yeah, there's and also the developments that we're doing, I think, will make it even more useful in the future.
Yeah, no, it sounds fantastic. And I mean, also taking it further forward, you mentioned about the plans to integrate the two together. I mean, and you could have hinted at it, but I'm sure other organisations and sectors even could benefit, not just education. You have lots of people who don't necessarily have large campuses, but they have very large buildings. And I'm assuming hot desking, for example, this seems like quite it resonates with the current climate, I would say, in terms of how businesses operate.
Yeah, I mean, I think as I said, I mean, a lot of this was started before the current situation, but I think it's becoming more relevant, and we're seeing that the flexibility that it offers to integrate different types of data, different sources of data. I mean, I'm sure not everyone's going to have the same kind of information that we have at the university, but as you say, if they've got multiple sites or sites where they want to control access to the building or book resources within that building, then I think we've got quite a lot of the functionality there that we can use.
Yeah, and without a doubt. And are you getting much feedback directly from the students? Is there any feedback mechanism or for the students?
Yes, I think there's feedback through our standard help desk and also through app stores. I think it's fair to say there's been, you know, a fair some teething problems. Obviously, it's a new system and it's a new concept for students. In the past, you could just wander into the library and no problem. So I think just that change of culture and that change of thinking you have to book ahead, you know, that just makes them think a little bit more.
But I guess again that's essential in this kind of climate. So that's
Yeah,
that's
I mean, I think that's the thing, is that we're trying to manage these resources so that everyone has a fair chance of getting a study desk. I mean, there was always you know, a problem with a lack of study spaces at times, but of course now with the reduced capacities, we're having to, you know, make sure that everyone has a fair chance to get those study spaces.
okay. Well, Guy, thank you very much indeed for coming along today. We really much appreciate you showing us what you've done, the great work that you've done. And for anyone who wants to contact Guy, as you said earlier, his email address is still on the screen. Get in touch with EDINA, Guy at EDINA. So thank you very much indeed. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Murray.